everybody. Welcome back to Breakfast with Bob from Hotel West End in beautiful Nice. My name is Bob Babbitt. We're brought to you by Master Spas as fuels go longer, HOKA Let's Fly, deboer wetsuits, Form Smart Swim goggles, Zoot Sports, the original triathlon brand, Quintana Roo, Premium Plus Sports, and of course our Challenged Athletes Foundation. Our next guest, coming off a huge race at the Asian Open, getting second place there, Mr. Pieter Heemeryck joins us. Peter, how are you?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Not in live, but yeah, I'm like 15 kilometer on the bike course for the moment. So it was a little bit difficult to come to the city again, but happy I'm in Nice and looking forward for a nice race, I think.
Now, did you surprise yourself with when you look at you're in the midst of training for this race and you go to the Asian Open and there's all sorts of really fast people there, some of the best people who've ever raced this sport, and you get second place there and ended up running like a 104 off the bike and just having a phenomenal day. Did that surprise you?
Yeah, I did like a very good race in Hamburg. I think it was beginning of June. Then I was in Roth. Then I saw you again after a long time. But that was a big mistake coming to Roth. It was like too short after Hamburg. But I have to be honest, for me, it was not bad to be in Roth. It was a nice experience again, racing the
Yes.
best in the world. And for me, it was more like, okay, I tried it. I wanted to do the race because it's such a nice race. And it didn't work out that day. But for me, it was like the month after I went on an altitude camp with the family, had some very good training, and yeah, coming out of the mountain, the feeling was really good. And like I did some local race in Belgium, then I was like really surprised about like the watts I could push on the bike or the running pace I could do after a hard bike. And yeah, the races after it, I think I won like in August 70.3 European Championship in Tallinn. And then yeah, 2 weeks later, I did like maybe my career best in Asia in Singapore. Can be happy with it, but yeah, beaten by Christian Blumenfeld. Yeah, I can live with it. Christian is not one of the one athlete like another. He's one of the best athletes in the world. But
No question.
yeah, I have to be honest. I was surprised I could do that on that day because I didn't do like any heat training at home or something special to be more ready in Singapore. And yeah, the race worked out very well for me. But like you said, yeah, this weekend is the big day.
So there was a point where you were ready to step away from the sport and move on. When was that and what turned that around?
Yeah, it's like yeah, more than 1 year ago. I think it was before the PTO in Canada.
Yeah.
I had like 1 year, 1.5 years, like results like more did not finishes than finishes. And it was very difficult for me to find back like, why do I love this sport? It was like, I'm training like crazy. The results aren't there, always did not finish, going from race to race, disappointment to disappointment, always thinking like, what am I doing wrong? But I think like after Kona 2022, I found like the solution to be back ready to race on this level and to be like, yeah, to be ready on the big races, to be not be there and thinking about I'm here to, yeah, be one of the group who's like coming after the podium. It's like I'm more confident that on my best days I can find the level to race the best athletes. It won't be every weekend, it won't be every race possible, of course, because yeah, some weekends like Asia, Singapore, some of the big names like who are racing this weekend, Frodeno, Ditlev, Patrick Lange weren't there. So I think, yeah, maybe for the future, I have to be more like choosing the races I want to do. But no, now I'm back confident that on my best days, I'm ready to, yeah, to race with the best.
Well, it was really last year, like you said, PTO Edmonton, and before that, you were basically bankrupt and getting
No, really, it was. I have to be honest. On that moment, it really was like, if I didn't do the sixth place in Canada, I think maybe I wasn't there anymore in this sport because yeah, if you got
wow.
a family, you've got two
Yes.
kids, you've got a house that you have to pay. yeah, on some way you have to pay the bills, and if you are doing did not finish, but I after did not finish, if the money is not coming, yeah, then you've got a problem. And okay, I've been a teacher for 6 years, so I was already thinking back, like when I was a teacher, I also did great results. But yeah, of course, if you want to do top level sport, like yeah, racing this weekend, the best of our sport, then you need to be full-time professional. The recovery you have, like all the time you can do, like put in making everything faster, go to wind tunnel, going to like physiotherapy, going to chiropractor. If you can do it like a full-time professional athlete, it's so much easier. You can't do. I combine it with a half-time or maybe full-time job. But really, I have to be honest. Maybe after, if there wasn't a PTO race in Canada in June, I think in July it was. Yeah, maybe I wasn't here because yeah, without money, it's
Wow.
difficult to get high in the sport.
Well, what's interesting is people talk about pressure and feeling pressure when you get second at the Asian Open. Now people are expecting things from you. But
No,
real pressure is when you go to Canada knowing that if I don't win any money, I've got to go get a real job. I've got to go to work. That's pressure. Coming here and racing against the best guys in the world after this last year where you've done well and you are a firmly entrenched professional triathlete, it seems to me there will be less pressure and more, hey, it's an opportunity for me to race against the best and show people that what happened at the Asian Open, what happened in Edmonton is real. This is where I belong. I belong. I'm either on the podium or potentially winning a race.
yeah, that's true. But like for me, the biggest thing that I improved is like when I'm starting a race, for me, it doesn't matter really anymore, like what place I will be at the finish line. It's like when I went to Roth, it was like, okay, it's a new opportunity to race the best of the guys. But once on the bike, I really felt like, oh, no, 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 this was not a good plan. I'm pushing like 60 watts less than in Hamburg 2 or 3 weeks ago. And
Yes.
this is not the feeling that I want. But at the end, I dropped out before the run and I was not like disappointed in myself. It was like you said, it was an opportunity for the same money. You've got good legs and you can race with the best. But yeah, I think more and more it will get more difficult in the coming years because we have so big fields and I like the level of the best athletes is getting so close to each other that you can have one of your best days ever and still will not be on a podium like on a world championship. So that's a little bit something that you have to think about in maybe the next year or the next years because I think it only will become higher the level. But like yeah, now okay, I like second place in Singapore. I was happy. Then yeah, you see that of course on social media, people expect that you can will be good. Some people say like, no, 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 it's not possible. Didn't you see like half of the men field was sick after Singapore? Yeah, you saw also in Lati, like all the athletes from Singapore weren't on level or didn't start because they were still sick. I have to be honest, I also came back from Singapore and the way back was not so fun. I became sick like halfway the trip when I had
Oh,
like a transit in Abu Dhabi for 4 hours and I still had a flight to Belgium for 7 hours. And 1 hour before the flight, I said to my brother, like, I'm not feeling good. And then you're thinking about like, oh, I still have to do a flight from 7 hours to Belgium. Okay, the flight was okay. Alea, no, it was not okay. I think I was more time on the toilet than on my place in the plane. But yeah, when I came home, I took a bus. And yeah, I stopped earlier. I didn't arrive at home. I stopped earlier because I really had to go out of the bus. Otherwise, I had problems. But I have luck if I now see like some guys are still sick or stop their season. I think I had like 24 hours that I had the feeling I'm not good. But then the week after, I did some very good training that I was surprised about myself. Like, okay, think we didn't do like a full Ironman preparation to be ready this weekend, but the two main big trainings that I had to do were like really much better than expected. So then I also knew like, okay, no, I'm recovered. I was sick for 24 hours, but my body says now like you're back. And I still had the luck. I didn't have to do a world championship 1 week after Singapore. I had 3 weeks and yeah, now I'm feeling ready. I'm feeling healthy. And yeah, still 5 days to go. So let's see what's going to happen.
So does this course suit you with nearly 8,000 feet of climbing and a lot of descending and a lot of technical parts of the bike ride?
That was also one of the main things because I'm known like one of the athletes is like a little bit Lionel Sanders Zwift training fan. So when I'm at home, I'm always sun is shining, raining. It could be 30 degrees. Mostly of the time I'm riding on Zwift just because I like it. I can see the kids playing in the garden, the dogs are outside. So easy. But then it was like the trainer said, like, Peter, if you want to go to Nice, you have a problem. There will be descents and you have to be ready for it. So that's why in July I went to Livigno and we did a lot of training also. Yeah, if you do a hill up, you also need to go down. And I have to be honest now with the disc brakes and all the things, I'm more confident to ride the downhill. But yeah, I think one of my strengths is ride uphill. But yeah, let's see what's going to happen because the field we've got now, we've got like very big athletes like Jan, like Magnus. Everybody's saying like, yeah, they have a problem on the uphill. But I remember like 2 or 3 years ago, Challenge Davos, Magnus passed me. I had a road bike on the Fluella Pass, and Magnus passed me with his time trial bike uphill.
Yes.
On that moment, he wasn't the Magnus from this. I think it was like almost like one of his first pro races. But then I had already something like, whoa, who's this guy? He's like 1 meter 95 and he's passing me with a time trial bike on the Fluella Pass. And yeah, I think, yeah, meant to beat this weekend is easy. I saw him riding on the Fluella Pass and he can ride a hill fast. So yeah, there won't be surprise. Okay, maybe there will be surprises, but I think people underestimate that like an athlete like Magnus, who is like maybe 80 kilograms and 1 meter 95, he can ride a hill. So
Yes.
yeah, I think best man this weekend will win.
Well, that's what he was talking about, is that he feels that a lot of the climbing is power climbing. He
Yes.
says people think he's too big, but a lot of the climbing is not really steep, real steep grade. So he feels that he'll be fine. And especially when you get to that top, when you get to the plateau, that you can really attack up there as well. So I think it's going to be pretty fascinating. And the fact Hamburg, you ran what, 237 off the bike after a 4-hour bike ride. So obviously you're going to be strong across the board. The confidence you get from a Hamburg and from the Asian Open and from the year before at Edmonton, that's got to play a role for you. Just, even though they're the biggest names there, you've gone against the biggest names and you've been right with those guys or in front of them. So are you carrying a lot of confidence yourself into this race?
Yes and no, because like I said, for me, this race and like all the races I've did this year, I really start like this is a time trial with myself. I want to beat the best Peter on that day. And if it's like in Tallinn, first place, or in Singapore, second place, the moment Christian passed me, I even really didn't try to follow him because I was thinking like, no, 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 no. I know if I now try to follow Christian, maybe I will overheat and I will become fourth, fifth, sixth. Because with a field like the PTO races, the field is so high from level and sometimes it comes in 1 minute for 4 or 5 places.
Yeah.
So no, I'm always now racing like it's my own race. I have to beat my best Peter on that day. And I really can live if it's like fifth place on my best day or it's 10th place, it's podium. Doesn't matter, but I really want to give my all and try to be the best version of myself. But I'm confident if I can reach the level like in Singapore, I think I can do something on a course like this. But it still stays a world championship. And we're talking about Jan, Patrick, Magnus, but there are still some much other athletes who are
Yes.
capable of doing a good result here. We've got like also like from the French athletes, we've got Dennis, we got Leon, we got Clément. I think there will be a lot of surprises here. I think maybe one of the big names will win this race, but for a top 10, I think we will see a lot of surprises.
I think so. Just like we saw at 70.3 Worlds last weekend or 2 weekends
True.
ago. Yeah. I think there's so many people with so much talent. And this course is such a wild card because of the downhills and the uphills, the downhills, and not your typical downhills because people are having to pedal through those downhills. There's no relaxing on this course.
Nope.
It's going to be really fun to watch, and it'll be great seeing you out there, Peter. I appreciate you always taking time for us. Stay safe out there. Are you going to be more on
That's the most important.
Yes, that's it. You got to get to the run, and knowing how fast you run and the heat doesn't seem to bother you, this could be a low 230s type of run for you.
Let's see what's going to happen, but yeah, I'm just happy I'm here racing this weekend, and like I said, I love to race the best of our sport, and we've got a lot of occasions, but yeah, also Frodeno's last race, last Ironman race, I heard, so it's also
Yes.
something special, and yeah, let's see what the day will bring.
Love it. Pieter Heemeryck has been our guest. Again, Peter, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Bob.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Breakfast with Bob from beautiful Nice. That's a wrap for day 3, and we will catch you tomorrow. See ya.